Good morning, welcome to TERRA at Home, and I'm here with Michelle from TERRA, and we are talking about Christmas. We're getting everybody ready for Christmas, and I love every year. I get so excited to see all the themes that you guys have come up with. And you're like a bunch of little elves, and we literally, like, that's what you are. You're like a bunch of elves running around and just setting up the store, and...
It goes really fast.
Yes.
It goes very, very fast.
It does.
It's kind of scary, actually, because we're not really thinking it's weird, because it's normal to us, right? You just sort of speed through at the mall and get them all set up, but they're always a little bit different, a little bit new.
I love that, though. People love to be inspired. Rather than just a bunch of ornaments set up everywhere and decorations, you have them purposely set out in themes so that it gives people some inspiration and some guidance. You know, because sometimes it's hard for people to see how you're going to put them all together.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, you know, they want to try and transition and they want to have a theme to their tree, and this way then you can change it year to year, right?
Sure.
So
okay, well, we're going to talk about some of the ones that we have set up today.
Yeah, we've got some good themes.
We sure do. I'm excited about them. Okay, so which one are we going to start with?
We're going to start with Winter Chic,
okay,
which is a little bit more traditional in the format that it's a lot of red and silver, but this year has a splash of black.
I actually really like the theme because it's not black dark, like it doesn't have this ominous look to it. It actually is very classy looking.
It is very classy, and there's a lot of, you know, a lot of people have black furniture and black accent pieces in their home, so it really ties in nicely. The other nice thing about it is with the red and silver, if you didn't want to do black, you could choose another color.
Sure.
Right?
Absolutely.
So it gives you the option to do different things with it. So.
It's actually really quite nice and transitional. And again, some people have a few trees in their house, so you could do that as the themes change at TERRA every year. You could mix and match and
sure could
and make it work.
Yes.
Okay. Second one.
Lodge.
I love. Actually, this is I think is my favorite this year. There's something very cozy and cottagey about it.
It makes me want to go to Blue Mountain.
It really does. In a big snowstorm and be stuck inside.
Yes, I really like this tree because it is very traditional for a cabin, cottage, a little bit more winter sport, après-ski kind of feel to it. The antlers, people like the antlers, and they are quite trendy. They're something that you're seeing in fashion.
Yes, absolutely.
You're seeing a lot of tartans in fashion again, which is really cool. And we have the tartan balls on that tree, which is a little bit different.
But again, as you said, the textures and the feathers and the warmth of the browns and just the natural look to it, I really like that. And for some reason, those natural brown colors look so good when you put red with it.
There's
something very earthy but Christmassy about it all together.
And the cardinals in the tree is the perfect accent for the
red. Okay,
yeah.
So that one's my winner so far. All right.
And then we have this, which is called Pop Holiday. So again, red, the traditional reds, which are nice, with a splash of blue.
Yes.
And you saw a lot of blue in home decor and clothing this year in very different shades.
Yes.
The turquoise was something that was really bright, and it allowed this tree to be really poppy. So that's why it's called Pop Holiday.
But it makes it it does make it more pop and very fun and almost a little bit sort of Whoville kind of, because it's not necessarily whimsical, but it's just the colors behind it. It's very icy blue and white and red. I like it a lot. It's good.
And again, it's one of those ones that if you collect certain pieces over the years, you can change it up by even just purchasing a box of blue balls.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
Wherever you do get them, you can add them to a theme, and there you go. You got a whole different look.
And I think that's the thing you need to think about is you don't have to buy all of the ornaments all at once for the tree, because that becomes very daunting and can be very expensive for people if they're concerned about, you know, that's not what you have to do. Is, you know, as you say, just buy them here and there and put that tree together eventually.
Absolutely. Yeah. And a simple box of balls can change a whole different look of your tree in a different color.
Yes, it can. All right, and next?
Next we have Bubbly and Bright, which for the gold lover in town is very gold, but this year has a splash of white and champagne. So it's a little bit more winter warm, pearls, rhinestone. We have a rhinestone reindeer.
I love the rhinestone reindeer. I mean, everybody here was so excited when the rhinestone reindeer was first unveiled in the store, and there's a couple different sizes. It's pretty fancy pants.
It is very fancy pants.
I like it a lot, actually. And again, this is more for, again, if you're getting away from the tree that we were just talking about and you're going more to just matching some of the tones in your house and neutralizing it and having that nice sort of calm white neutral tree that has a little bit more of that.
It is very soft, and if you wanted something very subtle, you can add like a white or an off-white creamy gold pillow, and there you've got a tie into your tree and your decor, which is kind of cool too.
I love that Christmas has come this way, where you can literally have, you know, hot pinks and purples and turquoises and just everything goes, because again, there's just there's tie-in. Hey, you know it's Christmas, right? You know there's a Christmas theme behind this all, right? Obviously it's a tree too, but okay. And what else are we gonna talk about?
Kids.
Yes.
I love the kids trees. They're always fun. This year it's called Homespun, and it ties into a lot of the knits, and there's some animals and things like that. But even just the traditional toques and puppets, and just taking that knit, that real kid-friendly tree to it. It's very colorful, a lot of fun.
And you did a boy theme and a girl theme tree as well, which
We
is
did,
cool.
yeah, we separated the
How
colors.
much are the kids gonna love that? They don't have to fight over the tree.
Not that it has to go one way or the other, but yeah, there definitely is sort of two different looks and two different options there.
Yeah, and I love how you mentioned about the puppets and the hats. I've already picked out one for my son. It's just the hats are so cute here right now, and they're like little animals and bunnies and bears and dogs, and everybody loves to find a hat that's just a little bit off mainstream, so that's kind of nice. All right, so when it comes to Christmas, obviously there's so many other things in the stores we can talk about, even from just buying a single ornament to cool decoration, but also the advent calendars. Without getting your traditional, single little chocolate in an advent calendar, we have these. So this we're going to show. You and I both love this one. This is so cool.
I just think this one's going home with me. Little earrings, barrettes, chocolate balls, pieces of Lego, whatever. You can open and close the doors, leave it on your table.
Oh, I love it.
And it's just, you can use it year after year.
Yes.
It's difficult to find advent calendars.
It
so
is.
It's fun to see really fun ones.
I agree with you. And again, this is nice and compact, but it is something you can see, just kind of dating it on the bottom and having it with your family for years and passing it along, because it is solid, it's wood, and it's great for kids learning their numbers because they really can learn to use this properly.
Exactly.
It's exciting for them, and I know my son would freak out every day. He'd be in there at night too. Going in looking for the little chocolate ball, but
I think they might all be gone before December 25th.
That's what those little ones do. They sneak around. So then you have this one as well.
And this one's kind of cool. If you had a wall or a door that maybe that your kids came down the stairs to or whatever, you can put little items in the bags.
Yeah, that's cool. Kids just love a little surprise like that. And again, you have more control over it when it's yours. You can decide what you want to put in it. If you if you don't want it to be candy at all at any time, you put a little toy, a car in there.
And it's hard to find ones that aren't candy. So this is nice because like you said, you can control it. I had the glitter doors. That's all we had as kids.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. That's actually really funny. So again, these are just two of the many things that we have here. And again, lots of pillows and just lots of ways to just change up your house very quickly to make it a Christmas theme.
Absolutely. Candle holders, pillows, even a vase on your table with a different silk flower in it for your holidays. It doesn't necessarily have to be something so overdone. It can be something very simple.
That's the thing. Some people go crazy, and again, we were talking about having multiple trees in their house and decorations from the inside out and all over the place, and we love them here at Terra, but also it's people to just be as minimal as possible. And you say, even just I love this even here back here, something that's just, just simple. Sort of understated and simple,
but
and
it
just
says
makes
Christmas.
it fun. It says Christmas, and in any color you like, you can have Christmas. I love it. I'm glad you and all your elves got together and did this.
Thank you.
It's so fun to go into Terra. You're going to want to go there now because Halloween's officially over, and everyone's coming in and having a good time. All right, that's it for now. We'll be back with more Terra at Home in just a few.
Terra, where color lives.
Good morning, welcome back to Terra at Home. I'm here with Ben at the running room in West Hamilton, and we're talking about, of course, running in the interesting conditions that we're about to come upon us. So this time of year, inside of November, we can get anything from a beautiful sunny day to sleet and hail and snow, and it could be anything, right? Exactly, and of course we know the temperatures are slowly changing on us as well. So you can wake up one morning and have a very frosty morning, and we have to dress for it. So those runners who want to remain running outside throughout the winter. Are you a winter runner?
I am.
You are. So
Yep.
you're all around, all year round.
round.
I'm a big baby, so I'm in the gym at this point. So, okay, so let's talk about maybe some of the equipment, how it changes. We were saying how it's so much fun to be able to just run out the door like this in the summertime, right? And those nice temperatures. But it changes once we start to get to these cooler days. So we have to think about a lot of different things. So why don't we start with what we would wear actually on our bodies in general? And I hear layering is definitely key, right?
Layering is definitely key. So we start off with like a base layer type of thing. So it's thermal, tight fitting, so it wicks the moisture away. So it'll keep you a little bit warmer. So we have like a long sleeve top, and we have long pants.
Okay, so you would wear both of those. That's your initial first layer.
Yep.
So you could eventually just strip down to that, basically.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you wanted to.
And that's the nice thing about winter.
Yeah.
You layer so that you can take layers off if you get too warm.
Yeah.
And
yeah, okay.
go from there.
Problem is what do you do with all those layers as you
tie them around your waist?
Just keep tying them around, eh? So the traditional tie around the waist thing. It's always good, right? Okay. All right. So you've gone through that. Now, again, that's a material you were saying that naturally wicks away the sweat. So it's tight to your body, but so it's going to keep you that warm,
a little bit warmer
layer under there. Okay. All right. And then moving on next.
We have a little bit thicker layers. The nice thing about this one as well is it's got a little bit of a hood on it with a balaclava built in, so you can
so you have actually little air
cover your
vents.
face and keep you a little bit warmer.
So we were saying how, a lot of times, well, we all know back in the day when you used to wear scarves around your face and you'd be breathing and it gets all moist and wet in there, and then it's cold and it's not a good feeling. It's not good for you in general. So this is actually going to really help with that, with those little holes. Yeah. So you, again, are protecting your face over your head, and really you just have your eyes out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this one's a little bit more thermal as well, so a little bit thicker than the base layer type thing, so it gives you a little bit more warmth.
Okay. All right, and then from there is when you can add on.
Go to the top layer. So we have our reflective jacket. So it's got 360 degrees reflectivity, as well as pit zips from your elbow down to your waist, so you can
so you got lots of air vents.
A little bit more air.
So that would be your first start when you're starting to get warm, is open up those zippers.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, you can see those actually down the side here. Oh, that's really smart, actually. Yeah. Very good.
And it's modeled after a biking jacket, so it's a little bit lower in the back as well.
Okay.
So a lot of people like that because it keeps you a little bit warmer on your backside.
Around the back end of it.
And
okay.
We have pants that match that as well. So the pants are a wind-resistant layer on the front, and then just a nice, like, tighter fit.
Okay. All right. Obviously, again, we should probably talk about footwear. So again, you can wear your regular running shoes that you normally would wear, or these.
Yeah, so this is a Gore-Tex shoe, so it's waterproof. It's got a little bit better tread on the bottom, and then it's also, I have the Yak Track Pro on the bottom, which is great for ice and snow.
Yeah,
so
this
it's got
really
grips. Little picks on the front and the spirals on the back there. So
that's cool. So again, you could just put this on top of your regular shoe.
Any shoe, yeah.
And you're good to go. That actually really helps. That would really give you that security because, as we all know, even driving your car, you can come across ice that you didn't even actually see. So you don't need a big giant wipeout and across the crosswalk in front of people. That's always great.
Oh yeah.
Okay, obviously some added items, socks.
Yep. So we got socks, which are a little bit thicker, a little bit higher, so that they can cover your ankles and keep you a little bit warmer as well. So it's also Cool Max, takes the moisture away. And then we have a toque, which is nice. And then the gloves. These are really cool gloves because they actually flip. So they have the gloves and then the mitt on top. So something like that's great, especially with our crazy Canadian weather.
Yeah, exactly. So again, this just gives you lots of options, and really it's just about kind of figuring out what the temperature for the day, and I think once you are outside running and you're familiar with being outside, you sort of start to know what you need to wear that day, right? You get used to it, especially a certain time of day, and you can sort of adjust what you need to wear. One thing that you did touch on was the reflective side of things. You really have to be careful, especially as our days are shortening front and back end, that is the visibility while you're running.
Absolutely.
Right, so there's lots of other options that you can to make yourself visible from head to toe.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I know that there are always people trying to start with their running, their training, and some people may have ran in their past and they want to start again, or some people have never run before. You have a lot of different types of clinics, so tell me about some of those.
We have all kinds of clinics. We do everything from beginner to marathon.
Okay.
So we have, in the new year, starting up again, first week of January, we have all of our clinics starting. So everything from learn to run, 5K, 10K, half marathon, and full marathon. So the marathon clinic always works the Around the Bay into the program as well, which is really popular here in Hamilton. So
I can imagine people have this personal goal of running around the bay, right?
Absolutely.
And even if they're not a big runner. Have you found that?
Yeah.
I found a lot of people like, I'm just going to do around the bay. I'm like, wow, you've never actually run before, I don't think. So, but it's a training, it's a process, and you have to train your cardiovascular system to get to that level, right? So,
Absolutely.
how many kilometers is it?
It's 30K.
Yeah, so it's a challenge.
Hilly.
And hilly, and we all know with the timing of the year around the bay, you can get anything.
Anything.
I remember there's times I'm like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not doing that today because it's freezing and snowy, and there have also been some really nice mornings.
Yeah, nice rainy days,
Rain,
everything. So
all kinds of stuff, right? So it's just a hey, it's up in the air kind of thing. What's it going to be this year? So obviously trying to be equipped, and again making sure that you're doing the proper training. So give me an example for somebody that really does want to do the around the bay. Should they get started now in their training?
Definitely get started now. You want to have a good base before you go out because 30K is a long way. So you need
so it's
to
a gradual workout, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just keep gradual. Yeah. So talk to you guys. And how do you register for your clinics?
You can do it online, runningroom.com, or in store as well.
Okay, so it's easy enough. Yeah. And now looking around their store, you have a lot of equipment here, way beyond what we're even looking at the table. So give me an example again of some other things that people, may be looking for. And again, it also adjusts to other sports as well.
Other sports, yeah. All the running stuff transfers into pretty much anything. Like you can wear it in the gym, yoga, like at pretty much everything. So we also sell lots of water belts and reflective material.
Yep.
Tons of bras and shoes, everything.
Yeah, that's the thing. I was saying to you that you have a lot of product in your store. There just seems to be a lot that people, and again, a lot of even like energy bars and fueling, because that's one thing when people are doing these long races that or runs that they need to fuel along the way. So do you a lot of there's like the little gel packs and little ones. You just put them in your pocket, right?
Pocket or water belt.
Water belt. Yeah, that's key too, right? A lot of people have the little camel things and the
fuel belts.
Yeah. There's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
So that's the thing. So if you're just starting running, you really need to come and talk to you guys because there's lots of basics. And just even getting the proper fit on a shoe is a whole other story. Right? It's a process.
It's a process.
Yeah. So come in, people, and again, I think probably you ask a series of questions in terms of what you need this shoe for, how long you plan on running. Are you just going to be doing a 5K, or are you going to be doing the big ends, right?
Bay, yeah.
So you doing the round the bay that's coming up?
No, I always have to work it, but
there you
it's
go.
fun.
There you go. Well, that's good. You can watch everybody else suffering. Well, thank you so much, Ben, for allowing us in your store. And again, thanks to Running Room here in West Hamilton. That's it for TERRA Home.
TERRA, where color lives. You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. We're in our TERRA kitchen today with Chef Iain. And what are we putting together today?
We are putting together what is the base of every soup, sauce, and gravy. It's not the most elegant of dishes to be talking about, but really is the powerhouse. We're going to talk about putting together a chicken stock, something that you can be able to draw from. I have very fond memories of a kid growing up, and Mom is listening to the CBC radio on a Sunday morning. It's the chicken bones from last night's dinner, the night before, sort of bubbling away on the stovetop for most of the afternoon, and the smells in the kitchen were just amazing. So again, this is something that you're going to be able to draw from, whether you're making soups, with adding just a few little ingredients, you turn your chicken stock into a wonderful Monday night chicken noodle soup if you'd like. you need that gravy instead of going to the supermarket and finding the powdered or the canned stock. This is something that you can always be able to draw from.
So you can make this stock and you can freeze it.
Properly
Right?
stored, absolutely.
Okay, okay.
Small mason jars, from what I understand, suits best. You fill them only about 3/4 full with the
Okay.
lids off. Once frozen, you can tighten the lids and make sure you
Okay.
label and date them as they
Great,
go.
and how handy would that be? So again, you put that day in of preparing this, and then you've got it handy whenever you need it for a certain recipe.
Most definitely.
Okay, I love it. All right.
The first part of our task is what's called mirepoix. Mirepoix is carrots, onions, celery, and sometimes leek. I love the flavors of leek. It's very sweet, very aromatic. So again, it's an awful lot of just incorporating into our roasting pan. First and foremost is that we have our onions, okay, and celery. Now I should also really talk about when you're cutting your vegetables. If you don't have an awful lot of time, you might want to consider cutting your vegetables a little smaller. When they're in the oven, they're going to break down a little faster. Ultimately, I keep them at a medium sort of size. Again, a longer time in the oven to roast out to bring out the flavors. But if you're, marked for a little bit of time, if you cut them smaller, you're going to break down your vegetables a little faster.
Okay.
So, as I said, carrots, onions, celery. I love the leeks. It really brings
That
out,
would be some good
rounds
flavor.
everything out. And ultimately, just give that a wee stir. And what we're going to do is, in this particular case, I went to my local supermarket. You can get chicken necks, you can get chicken backs. All the bits, odds and ends, I know, but that's where all the collagen, that's where all the fat is, that is where all the flavor is.
Okay.
A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. I drizzle a little bit of olive oil just to keep things nice and glistening, and into the oven it goes.
Okay. So you could, so again, if you don't have leftover chicken parts that you plan on using, then you can just literally go, so if you said, say to the butcher, you know what, I'm just wanting to make a stock, then they would maybe kind of give you a rough
most
idea of
definitely.
what-
Even your local supermarket has a section
Yeah, okay.
in the poultry and in the beef section where you can pick up the soup bones.
Right,
In
right,
this
okay,
case,
okay,
chicken bones. Like I said, I've taken some from the supermarket, and I've got some chicken backs here, and a good generous. I always find that if you season beforehand and you season really well beforehand, you're not left to do much afterwards.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
That makes
A little
sense.
bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Give it a nice toss, and into the oven it goes. Often the question is asked, well, how long does it go in for?
Right.
I do it by visual. I look for caramelization when the carrots are starting to leak out all that sugary goodness, and the celery starts to break down and the onions start to give out the sugar. I go by visual.
Okay.
So it really depends. I usually look at 350 to 400, depending on how much time that I need.
Okay.
Now, because it's such, it's a more labor-intensive sort of project to get underway. It's something that we've done. So for the interest of time, I actually had made a batch earlier today.
Great.
And ultimately, I've got my stock pot on standby. I've got all this beautiful caramelization of vegetables.
So
I
they're
can-
basically, after that comes out, this is what you get.
This is what you get.
Okay.
Like I said, it's nice and soft to the touch. All the sugars have come out, and again, you've got all your various chicken parts. That, is going to be the flavor base, and what you add to it after there is up to you. Like
Okay.
I said, from stocks to soups to gravies, it's virtually endless.
So you basically just take all of this, you make sure you remove all the meat from any of the bones and get it
Yeah.
all in there, and that's it.
That's
That's
it.
what you get. Okay. Neat.
So, with our chicken parts and our vegetables, I'm going to add a little bit of bay leaf to round things out.
Okay.
And I'm going to add a few peppercorns. And most lastly is I'm going to add some parsley stems. This is classic traditional cooking. And just take a few.
But you don't
and
think it's
add.
good though, because a lot of times we lose sight of some of the classic stuff, the basics in the kitchen, and this would definitely be a basic because of the conveniences that we've been given about, hey, you know what, you can just, as you say, just buy a stock in a can. But, or, there are some prepared stocks, but a lot of times you're getting preservatives that
Well
we do
said.
not need.
And this is an opportunity where you're in control
Right.
of what's going into
You
the
know
pot.
what's in there.
Absolutely.
Okay, great.
Lots of cold water. You're going to fill it up right up until over the bones.
Okay.
And as I had said before, I have very fond memories of a kid growing up on a Sunday morning with the smells
this is
coming from the
starting.
kitchen. You keep it on slow and low. A good sort of rule of thumb is you never want to bring it to a boil. You just want a rolling simmer.
Right.
You bring to a boil your stalks, try that again. They somewhat get cloudy. So you want to keep a nice clear and amber liquid when the time comes.
Really? So that's why that happens sometimes.
Keep it nice and slow and low. You have less chance of things falling to the bottom and scorching, but it is really something that you put on the back of the stovetop and you get on with the rest of your
Sunday.
Sunday.
Well, you get around with your other,
Absolutely.
parts of your Sunday dinner or whatever else you're doing. Okay.
At some point when we come back, I guess ultimately what we're going to do is the next step is when we strain our bones and our vegetables from the liquid. And I have a nice sample of that and what our finished product looks like.
Great.
Maybe we can again talk about some of the different uses for the stalks.
And I think that's actually a great idea because again, once you have this, then you want to be able to use it a lot, right? You'll be like, okay, I'm actually going to use stock a lot more.
Absolutely.
And again, it's all about what you're the control, and you did it. This actually seemed intimidating to me at first, but I think I could do this.
There's an awful lot of ingredients. I would agree with it, but
Well, I'll have you come and chop it all up for me. We'll be right back after this quick break.
Terra, where color lives.
Good morning, welcome back to Terra at Home. We're in our Terra kitchen today, back with Chef Iain, and what are we doing right now?
We are in our final stages of making a wonderful chicken stock.
And it's a long process. It's actually quite a process, but it's worth it in the end because you can end up with quite a fair amount of it to use for a long
Most
period.
definitely. You can use it in many different recipes, from gravies to sauces to stews and soups, of course. We've had our mirepoix, carrots, onions, celery. I forgot the garlic in the first episode.
That's right. So some
a
full
little bit of
garlic cloves, right?
Full garlic cloves, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper into the oven. Our finished product went into our stock pot with some cold water. And normally this is something that's going to be left on the stovetop for many hours.
Right.
And slow and low, bringing out all the different flavors and fats to round it out.
And your house should smell amazing while this is happening.
It will smell amazing.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right.
The next step is essentially every once in a while through the day you come along and you sort of start to pick up a little bit of the foam that lays across the top. You just want to keep things nice and clear as much as you can.
Okay.
And the next step is you're pretty much putting it through a china cap or a large sieve. So we're going to push out, all the bones and leave the liquid behind. So there we go.
Hard to do, especially to show on camera.
A little hard to do.
Yes.
Yeah. So again,
That just
all
looks
that
great.
wonderful chicken and vegetable, and I'll give a better shot of what you're looking at.
So a reminder that, again, if you want to learn, again, the basic stuff, these are just basics that you should have in your kitchen, basic broth to make, go onto our website, terragreenhouses.com, and this is what you get. So you learn all how to do this.
So ultimately, what I find is if you put this into the fridge for a little bit, this will also separate your fat from the top. It'll freeze and come towards the top, and you can scrape that
Take that
back.
off. Okay.
And that's the easiest way. From there, if you don't mind, you are left with a wonderful amber liquid. Stored in the fridge if you're looking at a few days, if you're looking at using it a little longer. Like I said, I'd heard putting them into smaller mason jars, 3/4 full, freeze them, put the lids on, and
then where you go.
Label and date.
This is good information, good stuff, and good basics for your kitchen. Thank you.
Most definitely.
Thanks, Chef
Thank you
Iain.
for your
That's
time.
it for now. Have a good weekend.